Hi, today in this video I will walk you through setting up a MongoDB replica set with Docker for development and test environments. Let's get started. If you have an application which works against a MongoDB database, it's very common to have a replica set in production. This approach ensures the high availability of the data, especially for read scenarios. However, applications mostly end up working against a single MongoDB instance in test and development environments because setting up a replica set in isolation is a tedious process. During the development or testing of the software applications, we want to reflect the production environment as much as possible. The reason for that is to catch unexpected behavior which may only occur under a production environment. This approach is valuable because it would allow us to reduce the feedback loop on those exceptional cases. This is where Docker enters into the picture. Docker is a containerization technology and it allows us to have a repeatable process to provision environments in a declarative way. It also gives us a try and tear down model where we can experiment and easily start again from the initial state. Docker can also help us with easily setting up a MongoDB replica set. Within our Docker host, we can create a Docker network which would give us the isolated DNS resolution across containers. Then we can start creating the MongoDB Docker containers. They would initially be unaware of each other. However, we can initialize the replication by connecting to one of the containers and running the initialization command. And finally, we can deploy our application container under the same Docker network. Let's see this in action, shall we? First of all, I need to create a Docker network. I can achieve this by running the docker network create command and giving it a unique name. The next step is to create the MongoDB Docker containers and start them. I can use docker run command for this. Also, MongoDB has an official image on Docker Hub, so I can reuse that to simplify the acquisition of MongoDB here. For convenience, I will name the container with a number suffix. The container also needs to be tied to the network we have previously created. Finally, I need to specify the name of the replication set for each container here, and it is rs0 in our case. First container is created. Now I need to run the same command to create the other containers. The only difference is gonna be with the name of the container. I can see that all MongoDB containers are at the running state by running docker ps command. At this stage, in order to form a replica set, I need to initialize the replication. I will do that by connecting to one of the containers through docker exec command and starting the Mongo shell client. As I now have a connection to the server, I can initialize the replication. This requires me to declare a config object, which will include the connection details of all servers. Let me paste it here. And finally, we can run rs initialize command with the config object, and then our replica set will be formed. You will notice that the server I'm connected to will be elected as the primary shortly. In addition to that, I can run rs status command to see the status of the replication, and here we can see that there are two secondaries here and there's going to be one primary node. Finally, I want to run my application which reads data from the MongoDB replication set. I can run this through Docker as well, and it will start reading the data and then outputting it on the console. To demonstrate the effect of the replica set, I want to take down the primary node. First of all, we need to look at the output of the rs status command we have previously run in order to identify the primary node, which is node 1 in our case. Secondly, we need to get the container ID for that node, which we can see here. And now I can run docker stop command to stop the container. And you will notice on the right hand side at the top, our application will gracefully recover and start reading data from the other primary node, which will be elected shortly. As you can see, we started getting the name. There are a few advantages of setting up this with Docker. It can be automated easily. This is especially crucial for test environments which are provisioned on demand. This process is also repeatable. The declarative nature of Docker file makes it possible to end up with the same environment setup even if you run the scripts months later after your initial setup. And finally, the familiarity. Docker is a widely known and used tool for lots of purposes, and familiarity of the tool is really high. Of course, this may depend on your development environment, but this is still a really big advantage. Thanks for watching.